is going.
Is there a conspiracy again in America? I know everybody says everything in America is a conspiracy. So let's start a conspiracy right here, right now. How can we do that?
Well, do you ever wonder how things just happen a little too perfect?
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson dies right as a bill's about to get passed. But no one's thinking about that. They're thinking about the 45 years of his career.
But the day before, Glenn Beck's on the air saying everybody should call in and stop this bill because it's going to cost us, right? Now, they had Fawcett dying, but didn't take up airtime, did it?
They had Perez Hilton getting beat up.
Didn't take up airtime, did it? Well, what would? And who hired this doctor? Was it the people he was doing the concerts for? Are they progressives? Good question.
You know, they're definitely out for themselves. And with the right amount of money,
anything could be done. Remember Marilyn Monroe? Is Michael Jackson's death a murder? Is it a conspiracy?
Is it a wonder that after a full autopsy, they still have no idea how a man in good health enough to dance and perform a concert overseas, suddenly falls dead, and they've got an entire movie reel on his whole life?
And then that same day, while it's being spread all over Fox News and every other station, especially Fox News, which was supposedly against the cap and trade, the government sneaks in. The cap and trade wrote, uh-oh, could the government be behind the Michael Jackson murder?
Now I know what you're saying. How big of a deal is this cap and trade that they are going to kill someone known probably throughout most of the nations known to man? One of the most famous people next to the Pope and the President of the United States. Would they really go that far? And how big of a deal is the cap and trade?
There you go. Well, look at all the money that would make for people, and how many people it would put out of work in the coal mining. You know, I'm telling you, that cap and trade's a big deal. Big deal. You know, it's the difference between us drilling for our own oil and not. It's the difference between us mining our own coal and not. It's the difference between us having cheaper energy while we're getting new energy or not. And who controls it? The environmentalists.
Also, notice the wording on the news coverage. The wording at first is, they were saying he was not dead. He was under cardiac arrest. He was under cardiac arrest, and then maybe 2 hours after that, they determined he was dead. Then later we found out he was dead the whole time.
Meanwhile, the doctor who knows he's dead is pretending he's not dead and giving him CPR to cover his ass because he's probably the guy that was hired to do the murder.
Isn't it also funny how all the news stations know that he was sick during the trial, show old footage of the trial before his supposed death that he was already dead from, and then after his death, every single news station uses the exact term troubled musician. No variation, not confused, not criminal, not always troubled musician, not troubled star, exact.
But didn't they say the same thing about Marilyn Monroe?
No, she was a troubled movie star.
Oh, troubled movie star. That's right, with suppositories up her butt. Yeah, whether
it's got to be true about Marilyn Monroe. She was naked after all.
Well, conspiracy theory or not, there's a lot of questions here. You know, questions nobody's asking.
Notice there was no press conference. They rolled tape on his life, there was no questions. The only ones raising questions was his family. They're going for a second autopsy. I'm going to tell you already, they're going to find nothing. They could do a third and a fourth and a fifth, and they're going to find nothing. Because that's what they want you to find.
Because it's all drug related. Oh, drug related. Well, you know.
How much profit?
Hey, did you know that Michael Jackson did a song that they found that he didn't, put out there called Demerol? And he did a song out there that talked about his childhood and him not being able to have one. Never been out there. But they talked about it on the news.
Did you know that footage that led up to the molestation trial where he was found innocent, that footage took 8 months to come up with that amount of material to stack and cut and piece the words just enough? 8 months.
And they got it out there how quick? Right after his fight. Boom. I don't know. I'm just saying that, if you want to talk conspiracy theory, everything.
Did you know that Michael Jackson was in debt and no one would buy his Neverland Ranch? How much you want to bet that magically this Neverland Ranch, if not already bought, will be bought?
And it's going to be worth millions more than it was worth. On top of which everybody's buying his records right now. His estate's going to be worth more after bankruptcy than it is. He was worth more dead than guess what?
Alive.
Ah!
Who else has to benefit from this, right? The would-be mothers of his children.
There you go. And the estate.
And everybody involved with anybody who saw Michael Jackson taking the drugs.
And guess what? The people that benefited from the most was the government. Not having the news on their butt during a vote. Very important to the American people.
Then, when people were sick of Michael Jackson's death, what do they put on? We're having a second autopsy. Nobody ever has a second autopsy. But wait, that's not very interesting.
And during saying that, one of the major news items that does come up is 8 Republicans helped to pass the cap and trade in the House. Now it's going to the Senate. Why even mention it? You're still on Michael Jackson.
That's funny. Let's just cut in with, we gotcha. How about this? How about a little, hey, who's going to get custody of Michael Jackson's kids?
Well, we might divide that between the mother of the one, a blanket.
Oh, but she may or may not have given up parental rights. They don't know.
Oh, but the courts gave her back parental rights, right? Now, why did they give her back parental rights? I don't know.
Maybe so that they could be taxed?
Well, let's face it. Cap and trade is just another tax. They're taxing us all up to kazoo now.
Did you also notice, after